Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sunny Kumar. I am Assistant Professor in Department of Chemical Engineering, PKG College of Engineering and Technology, Panipat. I am teaching unit process subject. This is my 6th lecture. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about the factor controlling the alkylations. What are the different thermodynamics functions, mechanism, reactions, mechanism of vapor phase alkylation of hydrocarbons, mechanism of carbon oxygen alkylation, catalysis, concentration of reactants, temperature, pressure, and energy requirements. So these are the different parameters which are affects the alkylation reaction, and these are very important reaction parameters which can control the desired product of the alkylation. So today we will discuss about what are the different instruments used during the alkylation, and what are the different materials of construction. So it may be the steel or any other material, and the corrosion of the apparatus, this is also a very important parameter which we will discuss, and what type of equipments it is, so we will also discuss, and recovery of alkylated products and the safety of the instrument. So these are the different parameters we will read today. So these are very important, so we have to focus on these these topics in this lecture. So first the topic is the materials of construction. So in many cases the steel is suitable for the construction of alkylating equipments. So generally you will say that why we are not using the iron, and why we are not using any plastic. So actually because this alkylation reaction is corrosiveness, and they can react to the system, the material also, so that can affects the product quality. So we have to choose a specific type of material that can control a good quality of product. So this steel is very inactive material, active material, so they cannot react to the other they are not interfering the reactions, alkylation reactions. So this is very important material for the producing alkylation based product. And in the presence of strong acid catalysis, as their corrosive effects is greatly lessened by formation of esters as catalytic and intermediate products. So you are seeing this example. So in the presence of strong acid, they are very stable. This material is very stable, and which is corrosive, doesn't affect the corrosive effect on this material. And the formation of esters as catalytic intermediate product, they are also corrosive in nature. So these materials are very important for production or occurring during these reactions. So in the petroleum industries, so the sulfuric acid and the hydrogen fluoride are employed on a very large scale as alkylation catalysts. So because these catalysts, hydrogen fluoride and the sulfuric acid, they can dissolve anything. Generally they can dissolve the gold also. So the sulfuric acid HNO3 solution, which is aqua, they can also dissolve the gold also. So and they are very oxidizing agent, very strong oxidizing agent, so they can be core any metals. So we have to choose a materials they can, which doesn't affects our reaction. So that is very important. Otherwise, in between the process, our system will be broken and the process will be shut down. So this is very important. And those must be substantial anhydrous to be effective. So this is also point. So the steel equipment is very satisfactory and it has a very good results for this alkylation reactions. There is no interference and the desired product we get. So this is very important. So where the conditions are not anhydrous, lead line, model line or enamels line equipment satisfactory. Actually, and in between we will also we generally coated a layer of a material which is the monal line based or the enamel line based material. We generally coated on these equipments. So what is this monoline and enamel line? So we will discuss now also. Actually, this monoline material is which is a composition of group of nickel alloys composed of nickel and copper with a small amount of iron and manganese, carbon silicon. And so this is the composition of monoline. We coated this is small amount of this, and where in a few cases the copper and tin copper is also used for this unreacted behavior for the surface we will get in the manufacturing, the pharmaceutical and the photographic products to lessen contamination with the metals. So whatever the surface of the equipment is at, there will be no contamination will be happens. So the enamels lines are the based on the glass lining or glass lined steels or glass fused to the steel. So these are the different type of coating generally we do, or lining we do for the this we can secure our equipment material. So this lining is very important, and which material we are using, so they can the material that doesn't interfere to the or doesn't react with the intermediate products or the catalyst or these things and the product also. So next the parameter will be the corrosion of the apparatus. So we are discussing the corrosive equipment. So this is the main property we do not want to the instrument does not affects by this. So the corrosion may be caused by the catalyst used in the alkylation or by the hydrogen halides formed by the hydrolysis or alkyl halides. It is dependent upon the which type of product you are using. So the catalyst depend on which type of reaction you want in the alkylation, which type of product or which type of alkylation you want. So that is also important. So this is the corrosion, how the corrosion generally happens to the substance. Okay. So in the preparation of the N-alkyl compounds, the original amines or the alkyl amines forms have an inhibitant actions against corrosion. Okay. So generally you will see that what is the use of the catalyst. They generally doesn't interfere during the reaction, but they increase the rate of the product generation. In the preparation of N-alkyl compounds, the original amines or the alkyl amines forms have an inhibitant action against the corrosions. Okay, there are many cases in which the agent used in alkylation or corrosives. So in the alkylation of anilines to the diethyl aniline by heating aniline or ethyl alcohol, sulfuric acid cannot be used because it will be form ether. Okay, so the consequently the hydrochloric acid HCl is employed, but these conditions are so corrosive, so we have to care about the choosing of the instrument material, so that is important. The steel autoclaves used to resist the pressure must be fitted with replaceable enameled liners, so that is very important. So we generally coated the glass or glass steel coat lines on the is steel based material, steel based instrument, so these autoclaves, and which is the high pressure, the pressure is also important. So in the presence of pressure, generally the corrosiveness increases. And certain of the alkylation employing alkyl halides are carried out in acidic mediums. Example, hydroboric acid is formed when the methyl bromide is used. So these are also very important. These are the acidic mediums. So for such reactions and autoclaves with a replaceable enamel liner and the lead coated cover is suitable. So the special attention we have to given to moving parts and the instrument to protect against fouling due to corrosion. Okay, and sometimes the instrument also moving, the agitations during the agitation, so when the something corrosion will happen, so the part will be break and give into the come into the solution also. So if the steel is to be used in a part under corrosive conditions such as valve, so the part must be designed with ample clearance to allow for the corrosion and the deposits or iron salt scales. So to avoid this difficulty, the pump valves and the instruments are often made from special alloys such as a monel, so which is a mixture of the 2 to 3 metals, so the nickel and copper based, and some impurities or some percentage of this iron, magnesium also. So these are very important things. And now we will discuss about what are the different types of equipments generally we use during these alkylation reactions. So the number of alkylations are carried out on a small scale where the batch operation is more satisfactory. Okay. For this scale, the operation the reactor is usually in autoclaves, any one of several design depending upon the reaction condition, what are the different temperature and the pressure, these things generally dependent. So there are generally constructed of steel with or without an anti-corrosive liner. This is a design of instrument which is agitated internal heated autoclave. In most instance, it is necessary to heat the autoclave, and this may be done for the small autoclaves, and this may be done for small autoclave through use of the jacket. So the surrounding is a jacket. And although steel autoclaves have been directly heated in a suitable design furnace using gas, actually if you are the thermal conductivity of the material is also very important parameter. If the thermal conductivity will be very not good for the material, so if you are using a plastic instead of the steel, So the thermal conductivity will be very less, so the heat transfer will be very less, and during this, so there will be energy requirement will be more. So this still will be a very good material for designing the equipments. And this, although steel autoclaves have been directly heated in a suitable design of furnace using gases, when the jackets are provided, the cleanest and the cheapest source of heat is direct steam. So generally the steam we directly use. For higher temperature, superheated steam, diaphragm or hot oil is circulated through the jacket. So it is act as a heat exchanger, which is transferring the heat in the reactor, and occurring the reactions, alkylation reaction generally happens. So autoclave must be provided with inlet and outlet tubes, pressure gauge thermometer, valve, and either a safety valve or better a safety disc that will yield before a dangerous pressure is reached. So the safety disc is more certain to function than a safety valve, which may become say corroded or clogged. So this is a safety diaphragm figure, and which is fragile disc for the relief of the excessive autoclave pressure. And this is the first figure you will see. This is before bursting, and after the bursting, because of this corrosion or pressure, so this is the you can see the surface morphology of this diaphragm. So the frequently it is not necessary to provide a steering mechanism in the autoclave, because the heating generally causes sufficient homogeneity, but the charge should always be well stirred before it is run into autoclave and the heating started. So as shown in our previous figure, the figure first, and this is the figure 2, and the previous one is the figure 1. So shows an excellent stirring mechanism for those alkylations where the agitation is desired. So this figure 1 likewise depicted a cheaper and better method of applying heat or cold by means of an internal coil rather than by the this jacket. So when dimethyl or diethyl sulfate can be used advantageous, a jacketed stirred kettle is generally used, and in the cases the operation is carried on a lower temperature. Such an apparatus is employed in the making of p-nitro phenol from p-nitrochlorobenzene by heating with alcohol potash in the presence of potassium sulfate at 50 to 80 degrees centigrade. So these are the temperature conditions you can get this type of product. And similarly, a lead line agitated kettle is suitable for the methylation of p-aminophenol with dimethyl sulfase to furnish metol. Metal, we know that this is a copper nickel mixture material. So now we will discuss about what are the recovery of the alkylating products. Wherever possible, rectification furnaces the most convenient and cheapest procedures. This techniques is used extensively in the petroleum fields. Even in those instances in which the boiling points are rather closer together, as is true of alkyl and dialkylines. A separation can be affected by the first benzylating the monoalkyl derivatives and then distillates. So if you will see, these are the petroleum wells generally extensively use these reactions, and the distillation we generally use for the separation of this. These are the schematics. Okay, so frequently such as distillation will be furnish material of quality sufficient to meet the demand of the markets. So you know about what is the distillation. Generally distillation is a mass transfer operation where the two or many liquids can separated by the heat or by the thermally. If you provide the thermal heat to the solution, so at a specific boiling point of a materials, they are becomes a vapor, and then these vapors can cool and separated in a chamber. Okay, so this is generally the boiling point based separation method for the two or many mixed solution. If not, other means of purification may be necessary, such as crystallization or separation by means of solvents. So the choice of the proper solvents will in many instances lead to the crystallization of alkylated products and to its convenient recovery. So now we will discuss about what are the safety requirement for this for designing of these equipments. Actually, if the pressure will be high during this alkylation, generated the pressure that can be blast, and so we have to be careful about these some issues during the alkylation reactions. So alkylated products in themselves are not as a rule hazardous, although some of them such as tetraethylate are toxic. Some alkylating agents must be handled with considerable care, example like dimethyl sulfate. So among the catalyst, hydrogen fluoride is very toxic and hazardous. So that is, we know that this is acidic in nature also. So but the condition of its safe handling have been worked out. So consequently it may be employed without under risk. So we have to ensure the safety in the control of autoclaves, procedures. The apparatus should be removed from use for periodic test or inspections. So in the most cases it is sufficient to apply a hydrostatic pressure which is 50% higher than in a practical. It is necessary to remove the safety disc and the safety valve, which are usually set to blow at lower and the test pressure. So this is also very important. This safety valve and the safety disc is very important. If sometime the pressure will be high and the safety valve pressure is different, so that will be also cause for the accident. So this is also very important parameter, and we have to choose a specific type of safety valves for the for designing the instrument. So naturally these instruments and all other must be frequently we have to check. In the today lecture we have discussed about the different type of equipments for the alkylations, and which are the materials of constructions. We have discussed what type of material generally we use. So we have discussed the steel based material we use for making the equipments. Generally these steels Quality is also very dependent, like the what is the thickness of the steel, and um, what will be the diameter, or if you will the use very thickness will be high, so that can the heat transfer rate can also be affects decrease. So that is also very important. So and the cost of the process will also increase, and they will also require the large area. So these are the things which is very important for choosing a material, and that can affect the cost and the area where you are using this. So this is very important thing, and you can also get the desired product by choosing this a good quality of material which does not affects the system or the our equipment. So that is very important thing. And the corrosion of the apparatus, if you have chosen a good quality of material, which is generally you have seen the steel is very common material which generally use, and this steel generally made of composite of different metals, and the corrosion nature is very um, this affects our reaction. So and the types of equipments, and what are the different type of equipments we are using, and the corrosion generally happens what are the intermediate products we are generating, or what are the different catalysts we are using during this alkylation. These are the uh, parameters generally affects our the corrosion to the apparatus. If there is a no harmful this catalyst or intermediate products are using in this, so we can use any type of material. But if you are using the hydrogen fluoride or sulfuric acid, so they can very sensitive to the material. They are very good oxidizing agent, so they can oxide the corrosive to the system. So and the anhydration condition we have to create during the system during the reaction. So this is also very important thing, otherwise explosion can happen. So these are very important. The material for the construction of the instrument is very important, and the what type of equipment you using. So if some rotating part inside this instrument is there, so we have to be careful about this, because in that condition the rate of corrosion will increase, and that cause for the yield of our products. They can affect the yield of our product and the quality of the product, and quantity and quality both can affect if you will choose a wrong materials. And the recovery of the alkylatic products, this is also very important. So we have to recovery is also very important for the alkylatic products. And what are the safety purpose is very important. Otherwise, if you this process is not safe, so then everything whatever you have done, so far, so you will not get a desired product, and then you will get so many losses in terms of mass transfer or heat transfer, or in terms of cost also, economical based also, you will get so many losses. So we have to be careful about the what type of material we are using, and we have to check all the properties, the corrosiveness and the fouling properties. So these things we have to check before designing the instrument. We have to what are the different thickness of the material, and what type of catalyst we are using during the reactions, that is also very important, and what type of lining we are using for the coating on a surface of the equipment, Montel type of enamel type of coating generally we do, which is the glass based or mixed metal based coating. Generally people use the general different scientists or different industrial people generally use this. So these things we have to care about the things. So these are the different topics we have discussed today, equipments for the alkylations. So so in the next lecture we will discuss about the effect of alkylation and what are the technical requirement during the alkylations. So these two topics we will discuss in the next lecture. So in the today lecture we have discussed about the equipments of the alkylations and what are the properties which can affect the materials, and we have to choose any specific type of materials, and the safety of the instrument. So these parameters we have discussed today. So if you have any doubt related to this today topic or today lecture, you can email me on chemicalsaniraj@gmail.com, and this is my website. And you can also want to read something, so we have already given some book in lecture 1, so you can recommend that you can read that books. So all the things you will get, all the knowledge you can get in this thing. And also you can also search that in Google. You can also search if you have doubt some in some words. So you can also email me, or you can also ask me about the today lecture or the previous lecture. Also you can ask me if you have any doubt. Thank you very much.